Hi, in this video I will show you my top discussion phrases. These are phrases that will help you make a discussion more effective and more interesting. The problem in some discussions is that people just say, hey, I think that, and the other person says, no, but I think that, yes, but I think that. And you don't really have an interaction, you don't really have an exchange of ideas, and it's not very interesting to listen to. And the discussion phrases help you a little bit to change that, to make a discussion more interactive. I put these discussion phrases into 6 different categories. You could make more or less, it's not really that important, but these categories help you to see the functions that all of these phrases really have. So I think it's good to have some phrases to begin a discussion, to express your opinion, ask for an opinion, to express whether you agree or disagree with something that was said, some phrases to interrupt somebody who's talking too much, phrases to balance and clarify something that was said, and of course sometimes you need to end the discussion sometimes on time, so you need to be able to wrap it up to come to a conclusion in the end. First of all, when you begin a discussion, of course there may be a host or one of you discussion members may have introduced the topic, and then you can start like this. I would like to start with, or I would like to start by pointing out that, or let me begin with, to start with. Now, first of all, these phrases could help you start the discussion. Of course, it's important to express your opinion and to show what I'm saying now is my opinion. I'd like to present it as such, and you can use these phrases for it. In my opinion, in my view, to my mind, from my point of view. It's very important, of course, to also ask the other people for their opinion, and sometimes they're quiet or shy or whatever, and then it's even more important to make sure that they present their opinion as well. So you can use some of these phrases. How do you feel about this? What is your opinion, your position on? I would be very interested to hear Tom's opinion on this if there's maybe a third person in the discussion who hasn't said much yet. It's important that you can show whether you agree or disagree with something that is said, that's clear, but it's also important that you can do that to different degrees and in different ways. You don't always want to give sort of complete agreement or complete disagreement. You want to be more detailed and nuanced in that. And these phrases give you an idea of what that could be. If you want to express that you agree, you can say something quick and short, like absolutely, precisely, exactly. Or you can be even more firm or intense and can say, I totally agree, which really makes clear every point that's been said, you're on the other person's side. Or, yes, that's a good point. The same goes for disagreement. You can say, I'm sorry, but I don't agree at all. And here it's clear, all the points, you reject them all. Or, it isn't as simple as that, which is softer. Or, I see your point, but where you can see that some of the things that have been said are right, but you'd like to criticize one of them maybe. Some people just talk a lot and you need to stop them so that you have a chance to speak, or maybe other people for that matter in the discussion have a chance to speak, and you need to do that politely. You don't want to sort of spoil the mood in the discussion, and these are phrases that help you do just that. May I interrupt you for a second? Sorry, can I just make a point? Or excuse me, but I'd really like to hear, and then you can refer to somebody else, for example. These 2 categories really that I put into one are really important, I think, because they sort of make a discussion more detailed and more interesting, and you don't just have this exchange of yes and no, but it really, you go into detail on arguments and finer points. So to balance, you can say something like this. On the one hand, it's true that so-and-so, but on the other hand, or that is certainly true, but at the same time, it is obvious that, or although I see your point on this, we mustn't forget that, and you refer to another point. Clarifying is also very important, and this can be both that you clarify something that you have said, or you ask another person to clarify what they have said. So it could be something like this. Don't get me wrong, what I meant was, and then you state your opinion again, maybe in a slightly different way. Or, are you saying that? And then you present the other person's point the way you understood it. Again, sometimes you need to come to an end and finish the discussion, sometimes on time. So the phrases you can use then are some of these. It seems we can all agree on, and then you list some points that you can agree or, for that matter, disagree on. So, to sum up, or I'd like to conclude this discussion by saying, or by presenting, or by pointing out, or to finish this discussion, let me say that, or let me again refer to whatever. So these are some of the phrases that I think are really helpful. On top of that, let me give you some advice that I think will help make the discussion even better. Once you've got the phrases down, it's helpful to memorize at least one of them from each category. In the end, the categories, in a way, are more important than the exact phrases. You don't need to use these exact phrases, but you need to be able to express yourself in each one of these categories, and you should have one phrase ready at least for each of these categories. Also, be curious about what the other person has to say. Don't go into the discussion thinking, I just want to present my point, I want to win, and that's it. I'm not really interested in what they're going to have to say. They're not intelligent. Yeah, this doesn't make for an interesting discussion. On the same note, think of the discussion as an exchange. It's not a fight. Yes, there are situations where discussions are a fight. Think of political situations, but they're not great discussions to watch, and there's no interesting result that comes from that. People just present their opinions. They don't really interact well with each other. So a good discussion is not really a fight, even though you might try to persuade other people of your point, but it shouldn't be a fight. And this one, I think people don't do that often enough. Get feedback on how you were in the discussion. Some people feel differently about what they really said than others will see it from the outside. So you might think that you really said a lot and you had some great arguments, but others said, well, I could barely hear you speak. You were so quiet, you didn't say something very often. So get feedback. Ask other people, what was I like in the discussion? Were my points good? Did I come across as angry, funny, interesting? And this should really help you to get better at discussions. I hope this video helped you a little bit to prepare for a discussion. If you like, you can take a look around on my channel. There are a number of other videos on English in different contexts, and you can take a look, and I'll be glad to see you again. So have a good day and see you soon, hopefully.
English with Mr. B.